high school. And ironically enough, one of the videos I tried to turn in, they wouldn't accept because it was us blowing stuff up in the woods.
What?
Like, come on, I'm from Coshocton, so a lot of what we would do, we'd go camping, we'd figure out how fire worked, we'd, have some fun.
Yeah, my brother just like started making a fire like at boys camp. Like he like just made a little fire because like everyone at the real campfire was going crazy, so he just made his own.
And we need Schedule 4, it's over here, and what is kind of like our foundations extras. Alright, so number 1 is fairly easy, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it, but I'm going to do number 2, which is very, very, very similar, just different in one very minor way. So if you can do number 2, you'll be able to do number 1. Surface area formula of a pyramid. Who can help me out? What's our formula? And you should, by the way, if you don't have them out and you don't have this stuff memorized, get out your notes for 13.3 and 13.4 so you can reference back to those. Because if you look at Caleb right now, Caleb, hold up your stuff. He's about to do his homework. He's got his laptop ready. He's got his notes out ready. He's got blank paper to write on. And he's got a pencil ready.
Wait, did we start these ones?
It doesn't matter. So the grade on Schoology doesn't matter. Starting an attempt is just so you can see the work. Like, so you can see the problems. So you can work through it on your own or you can work through it with us. But I'm not doing number 1. I'm skipping that right now because number 2 is slightly more difficult. You're fine, dude. My stuff is your stuff. So if you look in those notes and you're looking for surface area of a pyramid, not prism. Caleb, what do you got there?
Surface area is lateral area plus the area of the base.
Lateral area plus big B. So then we got to start figuring out, well, how do I calculate lateral area? That's where it's different than a prism and people make their mistakes. How do I calculate lateral area? Carolyn?
It's 1/2 times perimeter of the base times the height.
Half times the perimeter of the base times the slant height. And you guys should be writing all this work out, especially as you start your homework, because then you've got your formulas written into your homework. But remember, this only works for pyramid. So I can start filling stuff in. 1/2, well, for perimeter, notice that I don't try to calculate perimeter. I'm just going to write in the values that I have. I have edges of 6. What will I multiply my 6 by? Ryan? Ooh, we're not, so the 5.2 is not used yet. We're looking for the perimeter of the base. So 3, right? Because I have 6 as my edge length, and I have 3 of them. So that perimeter will be 6 times 3, and the slant height goes up the pyramid. Right? The 13 is my slant height. So what we know is the 5.2 will get used on the base. Since we didn't use it here, we'll use it for the base. That's half of 18, which I can do that pretty easily. That becomes 9 times 13. Again, if you don't want to use a calculator, break this up. 9 times 10. 90. 9 times 3. I love how awake we are on a Friday morning.
27.
27. Put them together and we get 117. Now that's only our lateral area. So I would somewhere a few lines down your paper or off to the side, I would write, okay, when I get to this point, surface area is going to equal the 117 plus, and we're still waiting for our other value. Now, to find the area of a triangle, Derek, can you tell me the formula that I use for area of a triangle, since here my big B is this triangle? Think about how a triangle compares to a rectangle. What fraction do we use for area?
Height times the base divided by 2.
Boom. My base and my height multiplied together, the order of them doesn't matter because it's multiplication, divided by 2. The other way that we write that is half, little b times little h. Either way is the same thing. So, my base edge here and my height of my triangle must be perpendicular to each other. If I erase all the nonsense that I've written on top of there, I've got a right angle marking right here. So I get half of the 6 times the 5.2. Half of the 6 is 3. 3 times 5.2. Again, I can distribute. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 0.2 is 0.6. We get big B is 15.6. I plug that into my surface area formula because I know all I need is the lateral area and 1 of the base. And I'm going to get my total surface area. What's the sum, Casey?
132.6 centimeters cubed.
Ooh, surface area, centimeter squared. You must have a label. Without a label, it doesn't communicate anything. That'd be like your mom saying, go to the store and pick up 3. And you're like, okay, great. And you get to the store and you're like, ooh, 3 what? There's a lot of things here.
A lot of free things.
Yeah, you come back with like 3. I can't even think of like what would be really funny that you would end up with 3 of.
Hot dog.
I'm pretty sure you can't buy those.
Yeah.
My smart ink is being weird.
Oh,
I
Mr. Jose,
Free
please sample.
Oh, whoa! Hey, who broke my smart ink? Why is that up there?
So how did you come up with that?
3 samples. It's the
You said
aliens.
children.
Oh my God.
I mean, that would be really weird.
Hey, continue on. I don't know why we're chatting when we have homework to do. For some reason my smart ink thing is not. On the process that we just took. Anyone confused how we found the area of the triangle or how we found the lateral area? So switching gears, volume is different. So I had people request number 4 because in a pyramid, all of the volume formulas are the same, but it's how you apply based on the base. So I was working on my summer math 1 class and I was making the joke about Meghan Trainor, the whole all about that base. But when you think about geometry, it's all about the base. What is the base shape? Please God, what? You want me to make a parody video?
No.
I just might. I was like hypothesizing in my head last night.
Well, I'm a real good Megan.
Alright, so, Josh, what do I do to a hexagon? It was cards. What do I do to a hexagon before I can find its area?
Well, we need to make sure that we know they're all 6 sides. We need to find the base, the side of the base, and then the 6 sides.
But what, so if I'm just trying to find big B. So if I know that my formula is 1/3 3 dimensions, I do 1/3. But if you just think about the hexagon to find big B, what do we do to the hexagon so we can visualize it, so we can kind of break it up and make it easier to work with? Not 6 sides. There's something that we do with 6, but Ellie, you want to help us out? We want it to be cut into 6 triangles. So, on here, we would, across here, and across here, and across here, break that up into 6 triangles. So our big B is going to be 6 times 1/2 little b times little h. Sorry, what was that, bud?
Is it okay if we already like draw the shapes?
That's fine. I mean, you could throw a hexagon on your paper really quick if you wanted to. Like, guys, I showed this in my Marth class, but if you're ever trying to draw shapes, I have shape templates up here if you want to borrow them. Like, you can really quickly draw pentagons, hexagons, octagons, septagons, like nonagons, whatever you want, the shape templates. I need to get more of those. So, then, I'm working with just these individual triangles. So, I need my little b and little h for each of those triangles. My little b and little h must be what with each other? How do I find my little b and little h? Ryan, your card's up. Do you know how my little b and little h, how I know that they are my b and my h? They have to be, say it louder, perpendicular. What symbol am I looking for to tell me that? You'll pass it off? Carolyn? The little box thing. This little box thing right here is how I know they're perpendicular. So, the base of my triangle is that 5. The height of the triangles is what? That's the slant height of, actually that's the height of the pyramid. I'm not looking at the pyramid right now. I'm only looking at the hexagon. I'm only looking at the bottom. My height is this 4.3, which is the line perpendicular. Do we see that?
Yep.
It's hard to see, so like I'm genuinely asking, do we see that? Ignore where my lines are, so I can zoom in for a second, and then hopefully I'll try to reset it.
Did you save that? You should probably save it so you don't have to delete that.
So right here, guys, is what I'm talking about. See how we've got the perpendicular box, and I'm zoomed way in so it looks very pixelated. But this is the height of the triangle. This is the base of the triangle.
But that's like for anything. If you could zoom in
Not
on
necessarily, not Google Maps.
Hey, gents, chill out. You will never understand terrible graphics.
Oh, trust me, I played Mr. Game and Watch before.
Minecraft.
I have no
Minecraft. The ET
No,
game.
you won't,
The
like,
ET game.
go get an Atari system.
I had
Yeah,
Atari.
how
I
fun
played
I
Atari.
had. I had a GameCube.
Okay,
I had
moving
Atari.
on.
I loved Atari.
Make your life easy. Half of 5, annoying. Half of 6, way easier. Guys, half of 6, 3. 3 times 5, 15. So all we really need to do, and we can use a calculator to help us if you want, is 15 times 4.3, which gives us, it's going to be slightly over 60. 64.5. I'm going to need this, so I throw it in a circle for a moment. Now, labels are necessary, but if it's a working number, if you're not done yet, you don't have to put a label on it yet. You've got to put labels on final objects. That just has air in it, right, Saul?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. Considering that you're above a computer. So,
Yeah, it's
just
just
checking. So would you mind setting that down just till the end of class so that we can get some work done? Because do you have this done, all your work written out and everything? Because we're not trying, reminder, this is not for Saul, this is for everyone. You're not putting your answers in Schoology. You're turning in a paper showing me you know how to write the work of the process.
Okay then. Delete.
I don't care. You can put your answers into Schoology. It doesn't matter, but you won't get any credit. The credit for your homework is turning in a paper with work on it.
So don't try to say-
It says that in the instructions.
I didn't
It
read
says
the
read this first. You literally can't get to the assignment without seeing the thing that says read this first.
Where do you find the thing that says read this first? At the very
When you
bottom.
click on the... So, Zion. When you click on the assignment,
Oh, I see.
before you're able to hit start new attempt,
How do you click?
every... Just done. I
You just
retire.
read it.
I retire.
Oh, yeah.
Why, Zion?
I made it to 27, almost 28. I guess that's a good one.
Okay.
Oh, you
See,
gotta
look
make
what you
it.
did. You made him ruin his life work. So because of this, he's gonna have
Alright, can we move on? Can you read the instructions from now on? Alright, so we found our big B.
Yeah.
Good. I don't care about the hexagon any longer. Katie? Yes. And they normally just say you have to get above an 80%, blah, blah, blah. It has my cell phone number. Yes, but they've been on every assignment. So,
It's not a stupid question.
is it related to solving the volume?
No, but
Then save it. Save it for a second. I got to get through this problem. We're going way too, people that are struggling to keep up with what we're doing, we're taking way too long in the middle of a problem.
Okay.
I've got my big B. This is going to plug in right here. So the only other thing I need is the height of the pyramid. The vertical from the bottom to the top. How tall is this pyramid? 6.7. So I can plug this all in and say I have 1/3 times my 64.5 times my height of 6.7. This 8 is a distractor. You do not need that. You would need that if we were doing surface area. We don't use that here at all. It's a distractor. It is a trick. So when I do this multiplication, I end up with a final answer. This is easier if you do 64.5 times the 6.7. Get that answer, then divide by 3. What'd you get, Brady?
144.05.
Yep, this comes out to be 144.05. Not centimeters.
Oh, meters.
Where'd you get centi? Meters. Cubed. Volume is cubic. It is filled. It's how much space inside, not how much space on.
I think I did put that on.
Can I ask my question now?
Yes, now's the
So my question was, can we write our things into there just so we like know how to work it out?
I don't care what you do with the Schoology page. I need paper written homework.
I know. I'm
Okay, so that's my answer to that. Is I don't care what you do with the Schoology page, but I need to see your homework written on paper. There's a trick in this problem. Very intentional. It is 3D. The trick, well, there's two tricks really. One trick is that your brain can play tricks on you. This is a vertex point. So from that green dot to this green dot is the same distance as from this green dot to this green dot. So that height of the prism and the height of the triangle merge into one straight line, but they're not one line. That's your brain playing tricks on you. From red to green is this height of the triangle, but just standing, kind of pointing away from you. So that's like into the screen. That's how far it's coming off. This is your eyes playing tricks on you. I did this on purpose so you can see some perspective things. This then goes up. So this goes in or is coming out at you, and then this goes up. I could turn this, and it would then look like something weird like that. But still, it's hard to draw these because this triangle is straight with this line. It kind of plays a trick on your brain. So what you want to look at is over here. Well, that tells you the height of your prism. Now, it's saying find the amount of water that can fill. So amount of water is that area or volume?
That would be volume.
Volume, right? Water takes up three-dimensional space. Anyone notice anything about the labels on my aquarium that I have here?
Well, I feel like the one in the middle right there is not necessary. I feel like the one in the triangle.
Ella, thank you for raising your hand. Ah, say that louder.
There's different units. There's a height, 4 feet, and
Versus inches. It's always easier to go into the smaller units. So I take my 4 feet, convert that into smaller units, and I do 4 times. What's my conversion for it? Okay, try to raise your hand. 12 equals 48. Don't need an equal sign. That's just what I'm going to use. 48 inches. Now that has not helped me solve the problem at all, but it has saved me from making a major mistake. Because if I tried to use the 4 with the other 4 and other 5, I would not get the right answer. Because I have to have matching units before I begin. There's a problem on the test that is pretty much identical to this. The units don't match. Before you start, you've got to make the units match. Be careful. Before you do anything surface area volume, check that your units match. So we're finding volume. Since it's a prism, what's my volume formula? Brian?
1 through 5.
Now we just use that for what kind of shape? The hexagonal pyramid. We now have a prism. So it's not the same formula. Check your notes. Prism volume. For a prism volume, it's only big B times H. No 1/3. We only use the 1/3 if it's a pyramid. Do we have any questions on that? We only do the 1/3 if it's a pyramid. So I need to find my big B. Well, again, my big B is a triangle. So, Piper, what's my formula for area of a triangle? We just did it when we broke up the hexagon. You have the work from the hexagonal prism. We said we have 6 of, and then we had the formula for triangles.
Wait, Mr. Hudson, we need units.
What do you? Up there. We have our units here.
No, I mean on the height.
Here, not yet. Oh, we have my units. 48 inches.
Oh, yeah. Do we not need to keep your square root?
It's not. It's just length. So remember, distance is just the unit. Area, unit squared. Space, 3-dimensional, trying to represent not just flat, is cubed. Did you find it or not yet? So my area formula for a triangle. Katie?
I had a question.
Okay.
Do I have to write how I got 48?
No, you don't have to show that. I know you guys are probably pretty good at those conversions now. Either half times little b times little h, or little b times little h divided by 2. Again, as we've already been told, my little b and little h, Sarah, are what with each other? How do they meet? Perpendicularly. This doesn't show it down here, but this is a right angle. We can see. So little b will be 5. Little h will be 4. What's 5 times 4? 20. What's half of 20? 10. This big B is 10. Any of you guys Wilson Hill people going on the science thing? Going to play with the little kitties?
I can't. I'm glad I didn't sign up for it.
It's a working number. I'm not putting a label on it yet because it's a working number. I know that's going to plug in here. Well, I already found the big H, the height, so I can just go ahead and compute this. 10 times what? 48, which will give me a final volume 480. 10
Inches.
times,
Inches.
I don't know why I wrote 480 up there. My brain was getting ahead of me. Sorry.
Oh.
That's my brain getting ahead of me.
Yeah.
I was already moving on to the answer. Sorry. So we get
480 inches cubed.
inches cubed because we're talking about how much water it can hold. So this one, I tried to help you by leaving a little multiple choice kick in the right direction. Well, I'll take this picture first, then I'll look at the multiple choice options. There's a reason why I left the multiple choices there. Oh, did that. Okay. When you look at these options, your brain should be processing, why are these my options? Some of them are tricks, some of them are real, and when you see, wait, where'd 48 come from? That should make your brain think, I don't see 48 up here. Where'd they get 48? Why might I need that 48? So when you're taking those standardized tests, like we're like a month out or so, think, when you've got multiple choice, why are those my possible answers? This would be if I treated it like a box with all the same units, length times width times height. If that was 4 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet, whatever, sure. But this is not a box. It is a triangular prism. So it's got a triangle at the bottom. I got to divide it by 2, but I can't use this because it's the wrong unit. I can do this for my triangle and then multiply by the height, or they multiply for the triangle, then add the heights. I never add when finding volume. Never do I add when finding volume. So option C would be our option there, but then still on your paper that you turn in, I need to see your work and your process getting you to the final answer. We probably got time for one more. Do I have any requests? People that have tried this and they struggled with anything?
I think I have more trouble with like the triangular ones than I do. Because like it's hard for me to like figure out what part is what.
Trying to leave any of these are more difficult. Most of these are rectangular prisms. You're either finding surface area or volume of the rectangular prisms. Yeah. And this is an application problem in number 12. So to steer you in the right direction for number 12, it's asking if a gallon of paint, yeah, the trailer moving van, steer you in the right direction. You're not answering surface area. You're first calculating surface area, then finding how many gallons you need. So you're going to end up taking your total surface area and dividing by the 440, since that's how much a gallon can cover. So to get your gallon answer, you might want to write this down as a reminder for when you get to it. You'll take the surface area, you've got to compute the surface area, but then divide it by how much a gallon covers, and that'll tell you how many gallons you need to purchase. By the way, I